Hi everybody, Robin Hyatt here. Hey, I wanted to talk to you. Sorry, it's a hat day today. It's Sunday. And I wanted to talk to you because I got some amazing information last night. So let's go through this. I prayed about it a lot last night, that it was okay to give you this information. And I guess it is. So I am just going to give you information. Also, it's just your choice to believe it or not. And I just go with what Spirit says. So all this began when I wanted to channel JFK Jr. I wanted to know a little bit about his life, growing up in the White House, and things that he remembered, and how his perspective changed in spirit. Well, I kept waiting and waiting, and nothing happened. I felt nothing. And so I went to my guide, Cassandra, and I said, how come I'd like to channel him? Can you bring him in for me, please? And she said, no. And I said, why not? And so I was told that he's still alive. So I have been mulching this over all week long. And I started watching some of the videos because I do remember when he did pass away, and his wife and sister-in-law. And my dad used to fly planes. And I remember talking to my dad about it, and he thought it was really strange and odd. And the stories that were being leaked out, he felt were just kind of not right because it didn't make sense to someone that has aviation experience that the way they said it could happen can happen. But he said with the way the weather was that night, he should have been okay. Even if the engine goes off, you can still glide that plane, and he could have landed it safely because he could have glided for a few miles and then brought the plane down safely with the experience that he had. So I go to Cassandra. I said, how did he survive out of that plane crash? Because it went a nosedive in the water. So can you bring this forth to me and tell me, and do I want to know, and is it safe to know? So she said yes on all counts. So this is a conspiracy. JFK Jr. got very lucky. So JFK Jr., that night that they were supposed to fly out, they had to wait because he will not fly without a flight instructor. And so they were waiting, and so he was waiting to find one. And he had two things going on that night. He had been involved with some sort of information. I don't know if it's about his father or something huge was happening that night. So he was trying to find an instructor. At the same time, he was trying to, he was getting, I don't know if it was a narc, was trying to come forward and give him secret information at the same time that night. So he found somebody, a single guy, that could travel with him. The guy would go back. Actually, he needed to go back that night. So he was going to fly with JFK and his family to, is it Martha's Vineyard? And then he was going to just turn around, rent a car, and come back. So that was really cool. So he was really glad to get that set up. But then he had this other thing happen that at the very last minute when the guy got there, and I guess the plane was kind of in a hangar. The doors were open. And I see that because it was detailed and cleaned and everything that day. And so the plane was in pristine condition because it was being worked on, detailed, everything that day. So it was in a hangar. They were waiting in the hangar. So the guy comes, and he comes by motorcycle, I saw. And he's kind of, his dark hair, similar looking to JFK, not as handsome, but he was there. And then JFK had to go. He says, I've got to get this information tonight. now. And he said, so there's lots of discussion. He says, I've already logged in who's going. Just when you do the radio call, just say you're me, because I don't have time to change anything right now, but I gotta get out of here. He goes, can I borrow your motorcycle? Let me do what I need to do. You fly the girls over to Martha's Vineyard. And then I'm going to get this information because it's pertinent. I do it now, so I'll never get it. And then I'm going to take your motorcycle. I'm going to drive up and to Martha's Vineyard. We'll switch out. You take your motorcycle back home. Okay, it worked. So JFK was not in the plane. He wasn't flying the plane. It was this gentleman that he had fly the plane. JFK didn't know anything about what happened. He did what he needed to do. He got the information he needed to get. He was jazzed about it. So he took off and he went, I think it's Martha's Vineyard. I'm going to just say that because I'm not sure exactly where they're going. It's, you know. So he decided, I think it's about 1 or 2 in the morning, he got to Ted Kennedy's house. He stopped there first because he knew his wife would be pissed off. So he was just going to hang out there and then see her in the morning for the wedding. So he was smart that way. So once he got there, Ted Kennedy, amazed, told him everything that had happened. And I hope I don't cry. He was distraught because they knew it was a hit on him and his family to take them out. I do believe his wife was pregnant, newly pregnant. I don't know if she knew it yet, but she was pregnant. And that's when the ball got rolling that Ted Kennedy knew some people in a foreign land. I'm not going to say where. And they got John Kennedy Jr. out of the United States immediately. No one knew about his survival except Ted Kennedy and the people at the house. They were sworn to secrecy. Through the years, the people that took out JFK Jr. were relinquished. They were taken care of. Where JFK Jr. is, he's been safe. He's very far away in a foreign land. They've taken great care of him. Also, Donald Trump has been a key player in JFK's Jr.'s life. He knew because I think they came to Donald Trump. I think he heard wind somewhere that this could have happened. He financed the life of JFK Jr. and the life of this group that's been formed underground to clear the swamp. So Donald Trump, what I see is Donald Trump ran for office at this time because he was in the height of being able to clear the swamp, because this group that JFK Jr. has gotten together and headed, it's a group that is universal, global, I should say, and it's solid, and it was at its peak. So Donald Trump said he would go into the presidency to help clear the swamp from the president down to this group. The strange things that you see Donald Trump do, some of the strange things he says, are not for you, they're for this group. The holding up of the Bible, I thought that was the strangest thing I've ever seen a president do, walk out of the White House and hold up a Bible in front of a church. That wasn't for you or I. That was symbolic. That that he achieved something and he was going to show, he had to figure out how to show these people that something was taken care of. Um, Remember when I said that after Donald Trump, someone's being prepared to be the next president? I think JFK Jr. will step foot back. It will be safe enough for him to step back on American soil and run for president. And you know he's a shoo-in. You know it. Um, the swamp needs to be cleaned for 4 more years. So Trump, I can't imagine in my mind that Biden would get in. He is such a horrible candidate. And if you just Google creepy Biden on YouTube, you can watch for yourself with your eyes the creepiness that he does to women and to children, that has been videotaped in the White House. He has some demeanor about him that is the creepiest. It makes my skin crawl. And so, even though you don't approve of Trump's mouth, maybe there is something bigger. This group that has been developed by, I believe, JFK Jr., and I think super financed by Trump, is wanting to bring America back. It wants to completely obliterate the corruption. And that's why the Democratic Party and some others are completely trying to destroy Trump. And they can't. They can't. And Trump knew it. He wouldn't have gone into this presidency if he knew that they would take him out. Something I saw when Trump was delegating for president, and he was someplace, I can't remember, I think he was in a hangar too, and someone came up behind and they were shouting and they were rushing his Secret Service to get to Trump, and he was either going to hurt him or fight him. I've never seen this before. Trump turned away from the podium and started going after the guy himself. What president would do that? And he was stopped by a Secret Service because he was going to go after this guy. He wasn't going to let this guy take him out without a fight. That, I knew when I saw that there was something different in this man. He might not be the perfect president verbally, and there's some other things about him that I can't watch, but there's something deep, 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 deep. JFK Jr. has repaired. He's actually my age. I think he was born in 60, and I was born in 61. And I see that he's had a son. I don't know if he married. I think he has married this woman, but not legally, because they don't want any paperwork. I think he looks as handsome as ever, just older. I think he looks really good. He's taking really good care of himself, and he's working hard on cleaning the swamp, and they're very well established. So if he comes back into American soil and steps on American soil again, they will welcome him. he will be welcomed home. Um, and it's going to be a shock for everybody, a shock and awe. Um, this is good because the people are deceased that were the most corrupt to take him out. We don't have that. It's been 20 years, I think, 21 years. So when he steps back on American soil, possibly within 3 to 4 years, um, it'll be a new age, because a lot of this corruption, swamp, will be drained. When I said the evil would be raptured out, I feel that that's really close at hand to truth. Um, but I think they're being cleaned out by this group. And you should appreciate this group, and you should pray for this group, because they're for the Constitution. They're for the American way. And in my age group, we were so patriotic, and my parents were so patriotic, and we supported this country. We love this country. And I think we'll get back there again if you allow this group to continue on. And Donald Trump is a part of this group. And he may do strange things, but he's not doing it for you to understand. He's doing it because that's how he can get the word out globally to this group, because he can't call them up on the phone. So the iconic thing of him going in front of a church, walking out of the White House, astronomical, who would do that, and hold up a Bible. And you knew he felt he was doing that as a symbol, but not for you. He was doing it to show this group. It was a sign for them. So, food for thought. I couldn't even sleep last night because I kept asking my guides, and I prayed, and I said, show me how John could survive this plane crash. He said he wasn't in. That's why Ted Kennedy wanted to be there to look at the bodies. And that's when the cover-up started happening. They went to this guy's apartment, they cleaned it out, like he had moved and left, and no one found this man again. And then all of the bodies were cremated and then dumped in the water, so you'll never know. Food for thought. Food for thought. It's amazing. It's an amazing conspiracy. If true, which I think I know it is, but if you feel it is true, then you may want to support Donald Trump for the next 4 more years. Now, you can see the epitome of evil happening now with our post office service. So, how else are we going to keep the corruption going? So now they had to take down the post office service. And now corruption continues on. Why can we not just wear a mask, gloves, vote, put plexiglass in the booths to divide them, and allow maybe 2 days of voting to bring people in one by one, set them up, everybody's masked up. Hey, I'm working full time with the mask. I have plexiglass in front of me. I'm fine. Knock on wood. How many times are you exposed to the coronavirus a day? As long as you keep masked up and clean your hands. So, I'm saying that they should just open it up to regular voting and just figure out a way to do it. And maybe just extend it to 2 days of voting, because it'll be a slower process, and the volunteers are all masked up. They can actually wear the shields like we do in the medical field. Every volunteer wear a shield wear a mask, dude yourself up if you want to, and then bring people in slowly, and then have them have an exit point out another way. Or even, hey, drive up. Why can't we do drive up voting? Drive up voting. They do drive up swabbing of the coronavirus. Why can't you do that and drive up voting? And then you put your own ballot in the box. Drive up. So they have one point where you get your ballot, you drive up, you do your ballot, then you pull up into this line, and then you drop it off in a box. So we could have two different ways of people voting. So you have the absentee, you could do a drive-up voting, and then you can do people that want to go in voting, and they have to be totally masked up and maybe gloved. It can work. We don't have to have all this mail-in crap. So people will come out and vote because we've got to. And consider letting this group go on for 4 more years. You will see major changes in the next 4 years. Why do you think they're fighting Trump so hard? They know what's going on, and they're scared because Trump will have more power to do what he needs to do. He's fighting for children. He's fighting for those in bondage. Allow that to continue on. I love you all. Peace out. Have a great day. And it's time to continue on and be strong in America, be smart in America, and be kind in America. I love you guys. Peace out.